Hi guys. I know this is not ideal. I do not have the equipment that I would normally have if I were virtual teaching because I was not expecting this. So I'm gonna be, if I need to show something to you, I'm gonna just show you these taped papers on my wall. We'll get through it. So I wanted to go over what to do for today's lesson for math. Because now we're getting into a little bit more difficult stuff. We're still adding in, well, today we're just subtracting mixed numbers, but today you're going to have to do some regrouping. Okay, so this is for lesson 7, 8 for math. So just to get our minds, moving about everything, I want for you to pause the video and do 27 minus 19. This can be done on your whiteboard or on a piece of paper. Just pause the video and do 27 minus 19. Okay, if you do 27 minus 19, when you regroup, you take one away from here, right? So that 2 becomes a 1, and then you add 10 to that number. So it becomes a 17 because that's a 10 that we took away from that, right? So that's why we added 10 over here, because we were taking a 10. And so then when we do that subtraction, 17 minus 9 is 8, 1 minus 1 is nothing. So our answer is just 8, right? Okay, keep this in mind for today's lesson. Because now, what if we have a problem like this? Okay, if we have 2 5/12 minus 8/12, this is still bigger than this. 2 5/12 is bigger than 8/12, but the difference is the place over here. If I can't do 5/12 and take away 8/12 from it. I can't do 5 minus 8, right? I have to do something to make that not be the case. I'm sorry, this is going to be a little loud. Let me move my table. Okay, so this is what I have so far, and I've got to do something. I've got to do some regrouping. So you guys have 2 options here. Now, Miss Feldman, or for those of you who are at school, now would be the time that you can pass out those note pages. So they say, lesson 7, 8, renaming mixed numbers, subtraction with renaming or something. Go ahead and pass that out, and you can pause the video, and the kids can cut that out and glue it into their notebooks. They should know how to do that. Now, if you're at home, what you're going to do is I'm going to put the notes on here, and you're going to pause the video and copy down the notes on a piece of paper. This could be in your math notebook. So if you're at school, Ms. Feldman, please go ahead and pause the video and let them do that. If you're at home, pause the video, and this will be the first thing that you write down. Okay, so one option that we have when we have a problem like this is we could rename the mixed number as a mixed number with an improper fraction. That sounds really complicated, but it's really not. So let me go ahead and write this problem over here. And you guys are going to copy this down as well. So if you're at school, you're going to copy it underneath the flaps. If you're at home, you're just going to copy it on the paper that you're writing your notes on. So we have 2 5/12 minus 8/12. So what you're going to do, oh gosh, I don't think I'll have enough room, is you're going to, just like if you were subtracting regularly, you're going to take one of these holes away. And you're going to add a hole onto this fraction. Now, just because over here, when we did this, we added 10, 10 isn't necessarily a hole here. Think about what a hole would be. A hole in this case would be 12/12. I'm so sorry, I'm running out of room. A hole in this case would be 12/12. Let me actually write that over here so you guys can see it better. So this is what you'll write on your paper. I took 1 away from here, and I'm going to add 12 twelfths onto this. Okay. So then what I get when I do that is I get 5 plus 12 is 17 twelfths. Remember, when we're adding and subtracting fractions, we keep that denominator the same. You're not splitting them into more parts, right? So now I just do my subtraction like normal. I don't have to worry about this anymore. Just do 17 twelfths minus 8 twelfths, and you get 9 twelfths. Okay, so that's one way that you could do it. Okay, so that when we subtracted the mixed numbers, that's when we did, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. You know what I forgot to do? Don't do this. 1 minus nothing is 1. Don't forget to subtract that. So my answer is 1 and 9 twelfths. Sorry about that. Okay, so the important part is if you were to take a whole from over here, you add it on, and then you just do your subtraction like normal. Now, if that, maybe isn't how your brain works, if that doesn't work for you, then you have a different option. So if you're at class, this is one of the flaps on your flap book. If you're at home, I want you to pause the video and copy this down. So let me copy this problem down for us. It says, for option 2, you could just rename both mixed numbers as improper fractions and then subtract like normal and then switch them back. So let me show you. And so you guys would copy down this work underneath the flaps if you're at school or on your note pages at home. So if I have the same equation, 2/5 minus 8 twelfths, my first step could be to make both of them, or make all the mixed numbers improper fractions. Well, I don't have to worry about this one. That one's good to go. But if that one were a mixed number, then I would. So let me make this into an improper fraction. So remember, we do multiplication, then we add, and we keep the denominator the same. So 12 times 2 is 24. 24 plus 5 is 29. And then you would just do, so that equals that. I don't have to worry about this one. Again, if this were a mixed number, I would, but in this case, I don't have to worry about it. Just do 29 twelfths minus 8 twelfths. And you get 21 twelfths. Now remember, you originally started with mixed numbers. You have to end with mixed numbers. So you can't just stop after you subtract. If you have 21 twelfths, you need to then make that into a mixed number again. So 12 goes into 21 one time. 9 are left over. 12 is the denominator. So if you notice, I'm all good to go because I've got a mixed number and then just a regular fraction over here. And then if I check my work, that's the same answer that I got with the other strategy. Okay, so those are the 2 ways that you could solve a subtracting mixed numbers equation with renaming. So let's do another example. Just bear with me for a second. Sorry. Okay. Let's do 3 and 5/10. Sorry about Griffey. Minus 1 and 6/10. So just like when you're subtracting regular numbers, you need to be really, really careful and make sure that you're paying attention. Don't do 6 minus 5. You can't do that. We're doing 5 minus 6, and we're not able to do that. So we're going to need to do some renaming. Okay, so let's try both strategies for this. Grab my tape. So again, option 1 was you could take 1 away from here, that becomes a 2, and then add a whole onto this. So if we add a whole, look at the denominator. A whole, we've talked about, would be 10 tenths in this case. So it's going to be different because you've got those. Every time you have a different denominator, that whole is going to look different. So if this denominator were 6, a whole would be 6 sixths. If this denominator were 8, a whole would be 8 eighths. In this case, a whole is 10 tenths. So then I add it on. I'm going to cross that out so I don't get confused. 15 tenths minus 6 tenths is 9 tenths. Don't forget this part like I did. 2 minus 1 is 1. Okay, now again, the other way that we could have done that is if we had that same equation. See, 3 and 5 tenths minus 1 and 6 tenths. If I had that same equation and I wanted to do it a different way, if this makes more sense with my brain, I could just change them both to improper fractions. So 10 times 3 is 30, plus 5 is 35, 35 tenths. 10 times 1 is 10, plus 6 is 16, 16 tenths. Okay, and then I could... Sorry. And then I could do my subtraction. So if you need to come over here and do 35 minus 16 and make sure you're regrouping, you would get 19 over there. So it'd be 19 tenths, but you're not done. If you started with mixed numbers, you got to end with mixed numbers, right? So 10 goes into 19 one full time. With 9 left over, denominator stays the same. So either way, whatever strategy that you do, you should get the same answer. So you have some choices here. All right, so now you're going to do some more practice. I hope this kind of helped. See you later.